All right, students, are you guys ready? You can continue your snacking while we're. Um, that's a good selfie. So, our second session is our adjunct professor class. We have Professor Karen Ferreira Mayer still with us, and as the name implied in our, oh, it's like the sound is like echoing. So now we are.
Oh, it might be yours. It's your. No, my sound is also on. No, maybe. No, I see. I see. Might have done. No, it's me. It might have been me.
Okay. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, this is the second session of our activity today, and we have a young professor lecture, instructional design and development. So this is, Karen, this is a course we offer in the first semester of the master's program for both Indonesian language and English language education. So we have in one cohort, we have two separate classes. One is taught in English, another one taught in Bahasa Indonesia. But all my students here are okay and very good with English. So the Bahasa Indonesia student, if you have questions, you can ask in English. This is also for everyone, so questions from both classes. Okay, since we have introduction already earlier, Professor Karen Ferreira Meyers from Eswatini University, coming all the way from the southern part of Africa to Indonesia. How long did it take?
Very long time. Close to 30 hours in all.
30 hours in all, yes, I could relate to it.
Yeah.
Going from here to United States or to Europe, yeah. So it's a long way to go, so we're very happy to have her again for the next session. We will be, I think the topic will still relate to our first one. So we have the artificial intelligence in the beginning. Now, still picking up on that topic, but the second part, or for this adjunct lecture, we have the title of our class today is Relevant Assessment Approach, the 21st Century AI Environment. All right, we will start with the lecture from Karen. Go ahead, Karen.
Thank you very much, Prof. Sari. It's still wonderful to be here with you. I hope, can we see my slides or not yet? Should I go out again? Yeah, I did share screen. I thought I did. Maybe I didn't do it properly. Let me do it again. There we go. Share. Okay, now it's visible. Okay, all right, that's better. Right, okay, so the idea is to look at relevant assessment approaches in the 21st century AI environment or era. And so we're going to look a little bit at different things, at assessment, at authentic assessment, and seeing how AI perhaps can assist us with that. So that's the basic idea of what we're going to do today. So we know that frequent, authentic, both formative and summative assessment are really providing us crucial feedback. And when I say us, I mean both major stakeholders, the learner and the staff. And so today we have all these multimedia tools, resources, online tools, project-based assignments, peer and self-review, everything that has to do with self-reflection. And that gives us a much more powerful experience of evaluation today. So that's why we are looking at new ways to evaluate. So that's what we're going to look at, and we're going to look at how this works in particular in multilingual environments, because I think everywhere you teach, whether it's in Bahasa Indonesia, whether it's in English, your learners have all kinds of other languages on in their arsenal, I'm going to say, in their skill set. Yeah? So, and so we know that, for example, the podcast, but also the e-portfolio are now replacing the traditional assessment methods. The traditional ones are no longer sufficient or appropriate, and so we really need to get into that new mode of assessing. And maybe, Prof. Sari, you can tell us a little bit how assessment is done here?
Yeah, we still do both kinds of assessment for sure, because we're still, don't really leave that traditional part of it. But I think it's supported by this technology, the digital platform in which we can do our work more easily, like it's saving time. But yeah, some of us still do like to have this paper and pen, which is, I think it will, I mean, depending on the purpose, maybe they want something that is just with that. But in general, I think we are moving toward the use of this digital platform to help us with our work, which is abundant, grading and stuff. That really important to have this new medium.
And maybe I can get some input from the students. What type of assessment do you like? What do you prefer and why?
Okay, student, you can raise your hands and I will just go and give you these.
Yeah.
What kind of assessment that you prefer to do? I'm sure that every single lecturer has different kinds of assessment, but what about from your perspective? Anyone? Well, any kind of assessment from your any kinds, basically, any kinds. But which one that you like the most? Huh?
Okay,
What
tell
types
us
of
why. Tell us why.
Go ahead.
Why? Because of when I cannot answering, then I can choose by myself by using A, B, C, D.
So even if you don't know anything, you can still click one.
Yeah.
There's a chance. There's a chance you
better
get something.
than if it is essay. We must write down, right?
Yeah. So you're taking the easy way. I get that.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
any
we
other
have
thoughts?
different perspective. Okay, here.
I like project-based assessment the most, like because we can collaborate with others, and maybe we have like something stuck on the way, and then we can discuss it together. So I think that's it.
Very nice.
The opposite of that. This is a project-based, very loose, right? Kind of project. Okay.
Yeah. And I like the aspect of the collaboration. I think today, anywhere you're going to work later, you will have to collaborate. So it's good already to strengthen those skills while you are still studying. How do we collaborate? How do we work together? Different personalities, different ways of approaching things. So it's not easy. So I think we get a lot more skills than from just ticking.
Yes.
Huh?
Even the multiple choice from quizzes, it's still like the same kind of
It's
cognitive
still-
demands, right?
That's
Rather
it.
than the project.
Yes, and it's limited cognitive demands because most of the time the multiple choice questions will basically go into knowledge questions. Good multiple choice questions will ask you to apply and will come at a higher level, but most of the time they are very basic. Do your lecturers, okay, so let's say you've got a multiple choice question and it's got 4 possible answers. You get marks for ticking the right one. do they deduct marks for getting the wrong one? Because then you can get -10 or -20. And
Just-
then multiple
just like
choice is
in-
not
yeah.
so funny anymore. Okay, any other thoughts?
Okay.
Anyone else?
Sometimes multiple choice is not that easy. Yes? You get the points from the option, but sometimes there are tests in which your wrong answer will be punished by the deducted your score.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Now I want to hear from this side. So if you have multiple choice, okay, it should be easy, right? Sometimes there is a consequence. So sometimes you can do multiple choice, but when you pick the wrong one, you got punished by the deduction of your point. Minus jadinya kan? Alright, what do you think about this?
Okay, I think that is not fair. Yes, of course, we have already learned, but doesn't mean we cannot answer that multiple choice. We will be judged that we don't know anything about that. So I me myself, for the time of assessment that I really like is about an essay. Writing an essay can broaden our mindset. We can give a lot of perspectives through the answers that we are going to write down in our essays assessment. So if the question is about what is our opinion about that, when someone judge only based on how my multiple choice is wrong, it's not fair, because actually inside of the class I learned something. Okay, thank you.
Good points, good points. I'm thinking, what about, do you get a rubric when you need to write an essay?
Rubrics? What do you think?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. How much does a rubric give you freedom or restrains what you need to do?
Basically, the rubric will be classified into some terms like punctuations, the subtopic, or something like that. So it depends on how the rubric constructed, right? So maybe for the essay, it can be more challenging also for us as the colleges, and also will force us and urge us to learn more, to find more data. So we just not only stuck in one answer. Thank you.
It sounds very positive, all that. Yeah? Very, how can I say, very ambitious. Yeah? Because then we have time constraints. Then we know that next week we need to bring in an essay. Can we do that within that time? Can we do justice to the assignment? Yeah? Questions? Other thoughts on ways of evaluating?
Evaluation.
'Cause we
or
only have two
evaluating your
now.
performance.
Yeah.
What do you think? Any other thoughts? Ruth, you want to say something?
What about role play? Do you guys do role play?
Role play? Do we have role play as an assessment? Ada yang pernah ikutan role play, bermain peran? Okay, she has some problems with her throat, but
Okay,
she
okay.
wants to say something. So-
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's hard for me to say. So I sorry for my voice. I got a cold actually. So actually, when I was a bachelor, we have a course. The name is ELT in education. So we play some drama there. We have Dolmuluk, that, yeah, we have that one. So we have other role. If like we have a different, like I'll be someone, let's say like I'll be the doctor, and then my friends be the patient and other things. So we have a different character between that our real life. So I think that one of the method for learn is a good in English, I think.
So yeah, role play. One of the example that the students gave is doing role play, and giving the opportunity to everyone to actually take part. so they can use the language, they can show how they understand how to use the rules of, how to say something, and also creativity involved in there too when they do the performance. So one of the example that she gave is a kind of like a drama performance based on the local culture, the traditional performance, but they mixed it with using English. So
very nice.
that's the combination.
Okay. I think that is a great way of evaluating an overall performance, because there's lots of aspects you can evaluate through role play. So yes, I really like that. Okay, other ways of evaluating?
There are ways of evaluating, hal lain yang dilakukan oleh dosen atau guru untuk melakukan
That you can see at...
Boleh yang bahasa Indonesia nanti diterjemahkan atau boleh berbahasa Inggris? Intan mungkin? Cara lain untuk selain role play, multiple choice, essay project, ada pernah tugas yang berbeda yang pernah dilakukan?
Not really, actually. But so the lectures ask us to do some presentations, and maybe it's to practice our public speaking, and also how to use how to speak in English, how to menyampaikan, deliver the message of the lessons that we have to learn in that class.
Very nice, very nice. I can hear lots of different ways of evaluating. This is wonderful. What about, I hear many of you do podcasting. What is the advantage of podcasting?
Anyone experience podcasting who wants to share?
What
Anybody?
kind of skills are you evaluating?
Okay, here.
An enthusiastic podcaster.
Yes, we actually did that with Prof. Rita in creative writing. So we construct first the draft, and we work in a group. Usually there will be one person who will be the speaker, and then one person will be the moderator or the host, and the other person will record all the processes. So we do that. For example, like we are given the topic, for example, climate change in educations, and then the speaker will talk about that. But first, they also need to find the resources, and also let's say from the article or any research about that. And then after that, we will talk in that podcast, and then we upload it in our social media. So that's what we did. What we did in podcasting.
That sounds wonderful. And do you keep your podcast like private for the students of Unsri, or do you publish it widely?
We publish it because we upload it on the YouTube.
Very nice. So then you can get reactions from everywhere. That's lovely. Yes. Then people can like. Excellent. Right. What about e-portfolios?
Electronic
portfolios.
portfolio or e-portfolio. Huh? Yeah. Go ahead and share. Nurus, do you want to share? Siapa lagi yang grup kamu yang pakai?
Actually, we have in 5th semester actually with our lecturer, Ma'am 15 we create the you tell story. We make like the draw, but the draw can move. The picture can movement.
Okay, some animation. No?
Yeah, like
some
animation.
Mhm. Nice. Okay, but okay, maybe we need to go back. What's a portfolio? What's an e-portfolio? Can somebody explain?
Okay, what's the difference between portfolio and e-portfolio or electronic portfolio? Ayo.
Or just basically, what is a portfolio? Maybe let's start there. Okay, get your AI tools to work now.
Well, you can use that. Ayo.
Okay.
Okay, here's Ruth has her opinion on that.
Okay, the portfolio is like the works that the students does during the year.
Yeah.
So we call evidence.
Yes,
in
definitely.
Spanish, like maybe homework or apuntes. How does it say apuntes? The notes that that they take on class
Yeah.
or whatever they do, but it's physical in the portfolio, and the e-portfolio will be documents in the computer or maybe in the
In the cloud, in the internet.
Yeah, can be document, can be videos, can be audio.
Yeah.
So that will be
Yeah.
e-portfolio.
Excellent, excellent. The portfolio actually, when you think about it, over the years, it used to be used by photographers and models. Yeah, they would bring all their beautiful pictures together, and then they would go to an agency and showcase their beautiful photos. Yeah, and then maybe they would get a job as a model or not. So this idea is now used in education as well, where, over a semester or over a year, you bring back, you put together all the things that you've done during that time. And then the e-version, of course, is online, that we understand. So the idea there is going away from evaluation as a product where we only see the last thing you've done, where we grade your essay, but we don't know how you got to the essay, to evaluating as a process, And nowadays, this is what we do. We evaluate as a process. We look at you from the beginning. When did you do your brainstorming? How did you do your planning? How did you start designing your work? And then you go all the way up to the final product. But the weighting of the final product is not the most important part. The important part is, how did you evolve? What did you learn? How did you benefit from the process? Okay, so that's where the portfolio idea comes from. And then also what we've seen in education changing is that it used to be only lecturers evaluating, teachers evaluating. Today, we are evaluating through peer evaluation, where you, as fellow students, evaluate each other, and also a lot of self-reflection and self-assessment. Because we know ourselves best, so we can also say, job well done, or no, this is not well enough, you need to improve on that part. Okay? So how many of you write reflective journals? Anybody?
Anybody write
Not
self-reflective
a journal about
journal?
I fell in love with the boy next door. Not that journal. Yeah, the journal where you write about what you are learning, what you still need to learn, and how you're going about it.
Anybody writing a reflective journal about what you learn, about what you learn from your reading or from the lectures that you attended on that day, for example? Ada?
I usually, if I read something, I write down key point, but not really frequent, I think. I think that's
That is a very nice way to do it, just keep documenting what you are doing, what you are learning, because it makes you think of what you don't know yet, so that you can go look for those things that you don't know yet. Who has heard of Chat PDF? Not Chat GPT, Chat
PDF, like PDF files, like that? Chat PDF. Anybody has ever used Chat PDF?
Okay, go online, go check out Chat PDF.
Okay. Go
Chat
to your
PDF
laptops
is
or
wonderful.
your phone.
You get an article in PDF format, you upload it on Chat PDF,
Can you see it?
and you can ask it questions. Yeah, so you can get exactly the data that you need. Okay, very useful when you do your research. Yeah, so instead of, doing your key points yourself. You can do that in that way, or you can ask it questions, and it can give you citations and the page number and everything. So that's really, really useful. Yeah. There are other AI tools that do the same. I like Chat PDF. It's been working well for me, but there are others, of course. Okay. So then, what about? Well, I suppose master's level, but before, what about micro-teaching? What does that do? How do you get
micro-teaching?
evaluated
I think everybody who's from the undergraduate program in teacher ed must have done this before. So what do you think about micro-teaching? Anybody want to give? Yes.
I think micro teaching is one of the best way to evaluate, ma'am, because until now I still implement several of way that my lecturer provide and then told us to teach and also to evaluate them in classroom, ma'am.
So what happens during micro-teaching? Can somebody describe the process? What
Anybody
you do?
from English education or Bahasa Indonesia education? What did you do in the micro teaching, or what kind of experience you have with the micro teaching? Pakai bahasa Indonesia boleh?
Baik, terima kasih. Ayus, bahasa Indonesia. Jadi sepengalaman saya saat melakukan micro teaching itu yang saya pelajari itu memberikan yang pertama itu membuka kelas dengan baik agar pertama peserta didik itu tertarik dalam pelajaran yang akan disampaikan, kemudian melakukan pemeriksaan dokter hadir dan baru menyampaikan materi, kemudian yang sepengalaman saya membentuk sebuah kelompok begitu untuk melakukan proyek atau tugas, kemudian biasanya juga ada ice breaking di dalamnya sehingga pembelajaran itu tidak monoton, tidak membosankan bagi peserta didik begitu.
So he shared his experience of doing micro teaching at the undergrad program. So in micro teaching, the focus is on how to do the classroom management from the very beginning. So it is very practical, in which pre-service teachers learn about, first, of course, planning for the lesson, and then they learn about how you get your students ready. It's kind of like making sure that they are ready to learn. And then activities that are designed for various kinds of engagement, including, for example, grouping students, how to group them effectively, so that the activities that the teacher planned can be executed well in the classroom.
Nice.
Yeah, and also he mentioned about how after the execution there will be an evaluation on the learning that happened in the classroom.
Very nice. And then do they do like little recordings of a lesson and then evaluate it together, talk about it?
Ikut yang direkam ya, yang ada ruangan. So they have this micro teaching lab in our campus. So usually the pre-service teachers will be conducting the teaching in the control kind of environment where they are videotaped, and then they have to do to actually implement what they plan in this lab, in this room, videotaped, and then right after that there will be a discussion with the mentor teachers or lecturers who's handling that class. So that's usually what we're doing.
Very nice. I think it's very similar to what we do as well, you know. And then after the micro teaching, then there is teaching practice as well to put everything, you know, in real life situation.
Right.
Yeah, excellent. All right. Okay, and now I can't move my slides, so I'm going to have to do the same thing. Just hold on. We're coming back now. There we go. I think if I don't move them quick enough, then they go to sleep, which they shouldn't, but okay. How are we going there? Not yet. Right. Okay. So when we look at traditional assessment and now we are going into authentic assessment, so I will ask you to start thinking about how to define authentic assessment. You can see the differences. Yeah, I will share all that as well, but you can see that in traditional assessment, generally it's based on forced choice. Yeah, you get your question, you don't have a choice of different questions. And how are we measuring things? Often it is only through writing. So the student learning is shown through some form of distance. You know, there's not real life or real immediate application of skills. Often it encourages memorization, so rote learning of correct answers, and the idea is really to measure acquisition of knowledge, yeah, not of skills, only knowledge. So that's where things go wrong. And then when you look at the other side, the authentic assessment, which is more in line of what we tend to do now, we're really looking at the how knowledge, the skills, the application, the divergent thinking, so an opinion is allowed as long as it's based on facts. We're really looking at measuring the skills exactly, and so that means that often the first choice is now becoming more of an open choice. So instead of having an exam where you have one question, you will have an exam with 4 options and you choose the option that suits you most, or where you find that you can apply your knowledge best. So there's lots of challenges with the traditional assessment methods. They have several limitations: reliability, not very good; objectivity, not very good. They are unable to evaluate complex skills effectively, and you can see some of the references there. We will find them back at the end. I have some selected references for you that you can look into, but there's much more literature on that, of course. So that's why we went into alternative ways, looking at how we can really make things interactive. We can use case studies, we can use scenario-based assessment system. Why? To prepare people to be able to solve problems. With knowledge alone, we aren't going to solve the issues that we are presented with today. We've talked about climate change. We've talked about, you know, all the pandemics that are coming our way, the changes that are occurring in our society. And so we need to find that is part of our responsibility, is to be able to find solutions. And as teachers, we have that responsibility to help our learners with that as well. Of course, technological approaches also have limitations, yeah, connectivity, electricity, knowing the tool, things like that. So again, there we need to be prepared for that. Okay, little activity. You can answer the 2 questions. Which of the following is a limitation of traditional assessment methods? And which of the following can enhance the effectiveness of assessment? So you can all answer those questions, and anybody can share, and then we can maybe just talk about it a little bit. So the first one is, which of the following is a limitation of traditional assessment methods? High reliability, poor objectivity, evaluating complex skills effectively, or none of the above? And I'm a kind lecturer. I won't deduct marks, so go ahead.
So your mistake, don't worry. Your point will not be deducted. Okay, for the first question, anyone? Which of the following is a limitation of traditional assessment methods? A, B, C, or D? Okay, first question first. Anyone would like to answer this one? You can see it in the big screen or in the small screen at the back. Okay. Question number 1, which of the following is a limitation? Which one? Is it high reliability, poor objectivity, evaluating complex skills effectively, or none of the above? Now, which one would be? They're overthinking everything, Karen.
It's quite straightforward, but go ahead, try.
You said you like multiple choice. Now here you
Yes,
go.
yes,
This is the
there.
multiple
Yeah.
choice. The answer is only one and no deduction. Very kind professor here with us. Which of the
And
following
maybe-
is a limitation of traditional assessment? The traditional one, which one?
And maybe there's more than one answer. That's also possible.
I think the answer for the first question is poor objectivity, because the traditional assessment is to measure acquisition of knowledge. So it means that the one that master the knowledge will get the higher score than other
Yep.
students. I think
Okay.
that's all.
Good. Is that the only possible answer? It's a good one. It's a good one. She's getting full marks from me. But maybe there's another answer that can...
Anybody has a
Be
different
correct.
answer, maybe?
Okay, if now somebody says none of the above, you don't understand the question, eh? So don't go for D, please.
Ya, yang bahasa Indonesia kan bisa juga mengerti
I am
ini ya.
testing your common knowledge and common sense. I am also testing whether you were listening to me in the previous slide.
What about option A? Would that be possible for option A? High reliability? What do you think? Any different answer or any other possible option? They're relying on the phone
Yeah,
now.
on the tools, eh?
To
They're
get
relying on the tools. But looks like maybe
Using
the
the
tools are
tools.
not really helping yet. But I heard somebody scream C. Now she's quiet. Scream C again. Yes, good. So, traditional assessment has problems, it is not very reliable, and it is not really able to effectively evaluate complex skills. So those are the two major points that make us doubt the value of traditional assessment. Yeah? That doesn't mean that traditional assessment has to be completely put aside. There are good things about it, but there are also things that don't work. Okay, what about the second one? Which of the following can enhance the effectiveness of assessment?
Okay, now we come to the second question. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I
Increasing,
think,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I think for me, the right answer is B. Incorporating technology like computer-based assessment, because when we use some technology, we can make the assessment more adaptive and then more effective.
Yes, sound good. More adaptive, more effective, more subjective, more objective as well. Yeah, so those definitely can help us. Anything else?
Any other options from anyone else? So the first, IU said it's the second, the option B. Yeah? So to enhance it, we can incorporate technology like computer-based
Yep.
assessment.
Yep,
Any other options that is possible? Yes, Khotamar.
Oke, jadi pertanyaannya itu kan apa? Meningkatkan efektivitas asesmen kan. Jadi menurut saya opsi jawaban B itu memang bisa meningkatkan keefektivitasan karena menggunakan teknologi begitu. Namun dalam hal knowledge atau pengetahuan, opsi C, giving only word exams itu lebih bisa memberikan suatu peserta didik itu bisa benar-benar ya penalaran dan memahami materi pelajaran daripada seperti multiple choice yang lebih ke memorize atau mengingat begitu. Jadi yang B itu benar karena menggunakan teknologi dalam hal misalnya validasinya begitu, validasi benar atau salahnya. Namun opsi C itu juga bisa saya efektif karena tidak hanya multiple choice gitu. Itu saja, Ma'am. Terima kasih.
Well, he agrees with B with the support of technology, but also giving only written exam, which requires students to do more complex thinking instead of just relying on knowledge and just like taking the options given to them. So option C will be providing more opportunity for teachers to know the students' complex process of like understanding something. So option C is also possible for him.
Okay, what do the others think about that? I will give you my opinion, but I first want to hear about you.
Any other opinion?
Because
Okay.
that it says giving only written exams.
Okay, I think that for many students, it will help to increase exam time, because sometimes there is not enough time for answer all the questions. Even if sometimes if there is too much time, it can also backfire, because they will start to overthink.
Yeah.
So that will be we need to figure out the time that is the better. Like I forget the word, but that is not too much time, but also is that is enough time.
Yes, appropriate for that person. Yeah.
The most appropriate time. So yeah, if we see that normally the students they are not answering some of the questions, it could be because there is not enough time, not because the questions are difficult.
Yes.
So we need to think about that.
Yes. Yes. Indeed, I like your explanation of that, of extra time. Sometimes that is a good way to make the evaluation or the assessment more effective. Let's go back to that C. Does everybody do well in a written exam?
Are you
No.
doing well on written exam, Bisa?
No.
Oh, they said no.
No, some people do very well when they can talk. So if we only do in writing, we are actually limiting the effectiveness. So it's better to give more options, yeah? Give more different types of questioning, of evaluation, so that everybody, depending on the personality you have, the person you are, the way you process knowledge, is given that option. Okay? Are we all right with that? Yeah? Okay, let's continue. Right. So, now I want to hear of you, those of you who have read a little bit. I think Prof. Sari shared some resources yesterday. Maybe you looked at a video or you read a bit, or maybe you just already know. What is authentic assessment?
Okay, first question. What is authentic assessment? What do you think? Authentic assessment?
Okay, is it a concept you've never heard of? Ah, okay. Good. I got worried a bit.
Okay, I think that like the name suggests as authentic, it means that it's original. So it's like the evaluations or methods that we use to assess students based on their practical knowledge about that. So we make the connection to the real world instead of like the traditional methods, like we assess them, like for example, like through multiple choices and things like that.
I like the part on it being linked to the real world. I'm not sure about the original, but I like the link with the real world. That's the important part. Yeah, something that looks like what would happen in the real world. Yes. Any other thoughts?
Others? What is authentic assessment?
There's a hand behind you also.
Okay, I think authentic assessment is tool that evaluate a student's ability to demonstrate understanding of core learning objectives in real-world context.
Yes, good. Real world context and then, knowledge, but also skills. I think both of them should work hand in hand. Yes, good. Good.
The one in the back tadi ada.
Well read from your screen. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you. I think authentic assessment is a method of evaluating a student's ability to apply their knowledge and skill in real world. It's often used in the form of a project or product, and it's different from like traditional assessments. Thank you.
Good. I think you've combined it all. You've compared it to traditional assessment. You've given the additional features of it being real-world based or simulating a real-world environment, and the fact that it combines knowledge and skills. I think that's very nice. Okay, and then the question is, what are the basic principles? Are there any advantages or disadvantages? So let's look a little bit about the principles first. So the real-world relevance. So the idea is to look at the higher order thinking skills. Who can give me examples of higher order thinking skills?
Okay, anyone? HOTS, we talk about HOTS.
Yep.
Everything. Higher order thinking skills. What are those? Anyone? Anybody?
Okay, I know you all now frantically looking for it. These are things that you might want to have immediately there. Yeah, this is some basic knowledge for you as master's students in education.
Should be on top of your head already.
Yes,
What's
Bloom's
the-
taxonomy.
Yeah.
Bloom's
Yes.
taxonomy. If you don't know where to go look for Bloom's taxonomy.
I think that it relates to when we construct the RPP, like the lesson plan. So we need to
Okay,
include.
when you create a lesson plan, you will apply Bloom's taxonomy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like-
So, but what are examples of higher order thinking skills?
Like, if I'm not mistaken, like analyzing, applying, things like that.
Yes. We're going in the right direction. Okay? It's not remembering. It's not memorizing. It's not those things. Yeah? We need to go for the higher order ones, the analysis, the creation, the application. Then we're getting towards the higher order skills. Good. So that's really what we want to find in authentic assessment. Okay, what else do we want to talk about here? I think that's it. You will read that in detail, but then now we need to find ways of implementing those authentic assessment strategies in education. Yeah. So what can we do that? This is where we can look at blogs, vlogs, performance assessment. That's where we talked about the creative drama, also interviews and role playing, the e-portfolios, the self-assessment, the usage of rubrics, etc., etc. Who of you has already created a rubric?
How many of you have created rubrics? I think when you do micro teaching, you do have them, right? But can you explain what kind of rubrics that you have created? Anyone? I believe, yeah, all of you did the student teaching, so they must have something like that, right? Can you explain what kind of rubrics you did provide for your students when you did your micro teaching or your PLP, student teaching in the school? Anyone? Rubrics that you have ever created, maybe for writing or for speaking, for any other skills, especially in language, Bahasa Indonesia or in English.
Yes. Yes, and there's lots of people whose voices I haven't heard. I want to hear all of you.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, what's a rubric? Try and explain what's a rubric. What does it look like? What is its purpose? Why are we using rubrics? Okay, there's a hand on my left hand side. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that the most simple way of rubric is when the teacher gives the concept that is going to evaluate like assistance, homework, working class, and tests. Like how much percentage of that things are like the teacher designs and decides how much of percentage is going to go to every aspect of the things that they want to evaluate.
Yeah.
Like the points that
Like
you will
the
get
points,
for certain
yeah,
aspects,
like
right?
Assistance 10% or 20%, like final test 50%, for example.
Yeah, we see. Okay,
And
here's
line. So,
here's another
Okay.
one
Okay.
from
Yeah.
Bahasa Indonesia.
Oke, thank you, ma'am. Izinkan saya menjawab dengan bahasa Indonesia. Jadi rubrik penilaian itu rubrik penilaian dalam puisi yang pernah kami buat itu di PLP. Yang pertama itu ada keselarasan, lalu intonasi, lalu juga ada gaya bahasa, pelafalannya juga, dan mimik wajahnya juga, ma'am. Seperti itu. Terima kasih.
Okay, the example from Bahasa Indonesia subject is that they created rubrics to assess students in doing poetry. So they have the tone, the facial expression, the stylistic. That's what she mentioned. So there will be like points on that.
Okay, excellent. All right. Okay. So that is one of the important parts about authentic assessment. Yeah. Before, I mean, in traditional assessment, we might have used rubrics, but the focus now is much more on that. And why? Why are we using rubrics? Are you sharing the rubrics with your learners, with your students beforehand, or what?
Okay, so why do we have rubrics? Did you give it to your student? Diberikan ke siswanya nggak sebelum mereka diminta untuk melakukan suatu tugas?
Sepengalaman saya ya, Miss ya. Itu sepengalaman saya ketika PLP, untuk rubrik penilaiannya itu kami berikan sebelum memberikan tugas itu, membaca puisi itu. Jadi biar mereka itu ada persiapan seperti itu, tahu sistem penilaian ini bagaimana seperti itu. Terima kasih, Miss.
It was given beforehand so that the student will be aware of how they will be assessed, so they know if they do this, then what will they get, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's it basically, and it's also for us as the educator to make sure that we consistently mark in the same way, so that we are more objective. So it's like a form of collaboration. Now the next step would be to discuss the rubric with your learners and to construct the rubric together. You know, that would be the next step in this going towards authentic assessment in full. So that's maybe something you need to think about. Yeah? Can you sit down with your learners and decide together which are the skills we are going to evaluate, how are we going to evaluate, and what will be the weighting? So that's possibly the next step. Right, so we know that if we want to do authentic assessment, then of course we will need to get support from the administration, from the other stakeholders, even from the parents. Yeah, sometimes the parents will not understand this new way of assessing, so that is very important, as well as teacher flexibility.
I think that's really interesting, as when you said parents needs to know, because sometimes now we talk about how involved is parents then, because in some parts it might be anything about school will be, you know, for teachers. I think it's a good point to discuss before we even share the rubrics. How do we, as teacher, connect to parents, right? Maybe in some places it's already part of the ethos of this school, the culture of the school. But some others it might be just like two ways, like, okay, you're sending your kids now when they're in school, they're our responsibility. Going back home, just want to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do without really having this kind of discussion where, okay, this is our objective and this is how we will assess your children, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important. I mean, parents nowadays really think that, you know, all the responsibility lies with the school. But it has to be, you know, some form of collaboration between, you know, the ones that look after the kids at home and the ones that do so in school. And we need to be aware of what gets done where so that we can work together better. So I think, yeah, that's a very important point. Now, there are challenges with authentic assessment. There are major challenges that we need to think of. Why? Because often our teachers are not prepared. They don't know how to do this. So they struggle with the preparation, with the documentation. They don't have guidelines, so they don't know how to really do it in the language learning classrooms. And so that transition is difficult because often we find information that is not from the context we are in. So we need, as people working in the Indonesian education system, to also work on getting documentation in Bahasa Indonesia, but also in English about the local context. But authentic assessment is very important in engaging students, engaging learners. Okay, can somebody explain why? Why is authentic assessment better in keeping students interested, engaged in their learning?
Okay, what do you think? Yes.
Okay. So authentic assessment is better to learner because I think the authentic assessment is can interest the learner for learning because the material in learning is near of the context of the real life. So I think it's better and interest the student. So sorry for my bad language.
Yes. I get your point, absolutely. So the idea is, if we learn something about our own environment, we probably want to actively participate. We want to find solutions for what is happening in our community, in our society. Yeah? So that will probably, and research shows that it does engage the learners better, yeah, at a higher level. Good, all right, okay. So, next question for you. Authentic assessment promotes more meaningful learning than traditional assessments in teacher education. Do you agree or disagree, and why? And I want to hear each one of you now.
We have two microphones on two
Yeah.
sides of the room. Each of the sides should give opinions.
Yes, yes.
That's the question.
And you don't stop at I agree or I disagree. You say why. Okay, you want to have a few minutes just to talk amongst yourself and prepare some answer? Go ahead.
1 minute to
Yeah.
to think about it or to talk with the person next to you. We're expecting two answers at least, yeah, from one of each side.
Yeah.
This side has the two advisors over here.
Yeah.
Are good in numbers. They have more
They
people.
have more
over there.
people,
Less
yes,
people,
yes.
but with two advisors.
Yes. Yeah. Let them express their own voice. Yeah, don't spoon feed.
Okay, just use the microphone.
Authentic assessment promotes more meaningful learning than traditional assessment in teacher education. I agree with that opinion because I think authentic assessment promotes authentic assessment is refers to a method of evaluating students of knowledge and skills by the projects, and that demonstrates their ability to apply what they learn. But unlike traditional assessments such as like a multiple choice, is just to test the students memorizing about what they learned before.
Okay, nice and good arguments. Okay, that's well done. Yes, I think there's already, the advisors are clapping, so you did a good job. Okay. Yeah, let's hear another voice. Come, master students, you must be strong. You know? You must show that you're a master student.
Okay, so in my opinion, I agree with authentic assessment promotes more meaningful learning than traditional assessment in teacher education, because as we know that authentic assessment, it promotes how knowledge. So by how we can dig deeper about some knowledge, new knowledge, and also it's emphasized cooperation. It means that we can cooperate with another. We as students, we can cooperate with another students, and also even cooperate with our lecturers or teacher even. Okay, that's my opinion. Thank you.
Like this idea of collaborating, you know, and working together, you know, at even though often we look at, you know, professors, but everybody needs to learn. So you bring things to the table, we bring things to the table, and together we will find solutions. Excellent, I like that. Okay, good. So keep on thinking about this, yeah? Because while you are implementing maybe authentic assessment, you really need to understand why you are doing that, and that it has an advantage about over what we were doing previously. Okay, so we probably don't have time to go into this case study activity, but I would like you to start thinking about it so that maybe next time you meet your lecturer or next time we meet online via Zoom, we can look at that. So there's a scenario. You are a teacher. You are tasked with implementing authentic assessment strategies in a school that has only ever used traditional exams. So what are your challenges going to be? Okay, so you're going to probably list the challenges and then find solutions. How are you going to overcome these challenges? Okay, so we want to do this now, but just keep it in mind and start thinking about it. I think it's very important because you will face such situations, yeah, where of your discussion or what is going on.
I think that's what already going on with the teachers here. This kind of the needs to do authentic assessment in a context where it's very limiting, or like when we talk about limiting, it might be like different aspects, maybe especially those in the rural remote area sometimes often bring this kind of issue to our discussion. So I think that might be, so it's really good, and I hope students will start thinking about it. Some of you, I think, already are teachers. Most of us here are probably teaching but not in school, but we have a cohort of students from one of the regencies in South Sumatra who's doing a weekend class, so they're not here right now, but they're also teaching, and they bring this issue that they face as teachers in the very remote area in this province.
Good, and you can take it way beyond just assessment. Just think of any innovation you will bring to a school that is not used to that. You will have colleagues that will look at you like, what is this one bringing us now? We don't want to do that. So you will have to deal with opposing views that can be very strong, conservative views that can be really limiting. So if you want to bring in anything that is new, like authentic assessment, like assessment driven by AI, then you will need to find ways to do so. You will have to have strategies to help you implement them. Okay, we're going into AI. We've talked at length this morning about AI, so I'm going to keep it brief, but just to remind us that there are different layers. Yeah, there's the artificial intelligence, which is the broad overview, and then you've got the machine learning that comes in, those neural networks. Remember when we talked about the Google Translate and the DeepL improving so much because of the neural networks, the deep learning aspects, and then what we have today in the chat GPTs and so on, the generative AI. Okay? Little quiz, true or false? Okay?
Easy, right? True or false?
Yeah, just tick. Okay. AI always improves the objectivity of assessment.
Okay, what's your opinion on that? The microphone, you guys can use it. It's only two options, right? It should be
Yeah. 50-50.
No, there's
No, there's no option. There's no option
There's
there.
no option for neutral.
Okay, who says true? Raise your hand.
If you think the first statement is true, raise your hand.
Who thinks it's false? Raise your hand.
Hey, you have to take a stand. You cannot just be absent.
Yeah, no. You need to decide.
Okay, which camp are you in? The true or the false? Okay, raise your hand if it's true. Let's do the head count. Okay, who think AI always improve the objectivity of assessment? Raise your hands. I see changing of.
Yeah. They saw my face. I think I should have hidden my face.
You should have a poker face.
I should have a poker face. Yes. Okay, the word always is very problematic. Yeah? AI will not always improve the objectivity. Yeah? It can, but it's not necessarily so. Okay, let's look at the second one. AI can assist with grading, but cannot replace human judgment in assessment. Okay, there we're all in agreement. Yes, I will also raise mine. Good. Okay, and then the last one. AI-generated assessment may have fairness issues due to bias in training data. Yay! Good. Okay, so these are questions that we should be posing, yeah? And then we should be able to explain what the issues are. Very good. Okay, what are the key challenges with using AI for assessment? Okay, now we are looking at plagiarism. Okay, now we're looking at authenticity. Who has done the work? Who is the author? Okay, have we as students done anything? Have we brought in our own voice? Have we added things? Have we changed things? Have we even read what we are taking from ChatGPT? So authenticity, who has done what is submitted is a major question. Okay, so we need to think about that because we need to find solution. Let's say you're going to teach in a school and you give them an assignment and you get back a beautifully written essay. What are you going to do now? How are you going to deal with that? Anyone? Okay. Anyone, your opinion or your strategies or your tips for others? So you made this beautiful question. You thought about it very long and hard. You put in a lot of work. There goes the question. You give it to your learners, and the result is something almost perfect comes back. What now? It will happen, yeah? It's happening, yeah? It's happening to all of us, and it is going to happen to all of you, yeah? So what do we do now? It's a very difficult question, eh? I know that, yeah? I just want you to start thinking about it and giving some, you know, thoughts to it and giving some ideas and brainstorming.
Okay, how do we deal with the result that is perfect? You mean? I think that we can use AI for that, to assess what they are written, as long as we give the most appropriate prompt. For example, like, can you assess what the students are writing? Is it based on this, and is it actually written by also AI? Things like that. I think that the AI can also do that.
I can do it, and then, you know, but you already knew that. You already knew that it wasn't from the student, because you know your students. So now you can tell the student, okay, I know you've used AI, and then what? Then the student will say, yes, I used AI.
They admit they used AI. And
they admit.
Okay, I think if, like what you have presented before, I think that we need to consider about the ethical considerations when using AI. So they need to use it responsibly. So when we, like for example, when we even use AI for our research, there's like the statement like this research uses AI, things like that, only for the brainstorming and things like that. But for the whole concepting the research, we still need to do it out by our own, because like the true and false before, it cannot replace humans' critical thinking.
Okay, good. Now, what about, if we do that, we need to make sure that we've got guidelines before we implement. So does the university have AI?
Not yet, none that I know of, but we have these, all the like thesis or undergraduate thesis, they need to undergo the plagiarism check, which is, I think that's only like a small part of it, and it cannot detect very well, because they know how to cheat on using that, right?
So with the detection tools, there's still a major issue. Why? Because every time you ask the same question to your ChatGPT, you will get a slightly different answer. So you can't prove actually that somebody, you know, copied everything from AI. So the AI detection, I think, is not the way to go. I think the way to go is that discussion on ethics. Yeah, but it's a difficult discussion. But some guidelines would be useful. Yeah, have some kind of even a national law on AI usage would be, you know, helpful for the institution. Well, and then an institutional one, and then possibly each lecturer must have an agreement with the students on what is allowed and what is not allowed. And we will get to some of the examples. You must also give me an idea of time, eh? Yeah. Okay. So. The key challenge is, are we able to measure the higher order thinking skills? Maybe yes, maybe no. What about the rapidly evolving technology? As I said earlier, the AI tools keep on popping up. There's new ones, every day. So none of us can keep up with that. Yeah, we choose the ones. Yes, absolutely. And then there are also the tools that are multiplying, yeah? But the prompt engineering is something that we need to learn, all of us, good. And then, of course, the bias, yeah? So I think, let's go for this one, a little quiz again, okay? 2 questions, and let's see what your answers are. Which of the following is not a recommended assessment strategy? Let's do the first one.
be written essays only, because like even when we discuss about the authentic assessment, we need to make them connect to the real world situation. So I think we can use group debates, e-portfolios, and also podcast creations, but not limited to only written essays.
Yes, I like that. How many times, okay, let's say in all universities, people are still writing theses and dissertations, yeah? And value in that, yeah, because there's lots of skills you are using in that. But how many times later in life will you write a thesis or a dissertation? Never, never, ever. Yeah, you do it for your master's, you do it for your PhD, and that's it. Okay, so that's not connected actually to the real world. The other things are a group debate. Yeah, you will sit with your colleagues in any work situation. You will have to discuss and to argue and to make sure that your voice is heard and to put your arguments forth. Okay? Same with the e-portfolios. Documenting what you can do is important. Podcast creation means you can use technology. Okay, let's look at the second one. What is the primary benefit of incorporating AI tools in teaching education assessment, teacher education assessment? Reduces the workload, ensures higher levels of cognitive skill assessment, eliminates the need for teacher involvement, replaces authentic assessment. The primary, the most important benefit. Anyone? And be giving marks for active participation, I already know who's winning here. Okay?
Okay, so my answer is A. It's reduce the workload for teacher. It's reduced, not because especially in Indonesia, the teacher is many job desks, in his work in learning, administration, and others. So I think it's the answer is A. Reduce the workload for teachers, so teachers can focus for other job desks. Okay, thank you.
Okay, is that the main benefit of having AI tools? Let's think about it. It's definitely an important benefit. Yeah, I agree with that one. Any other opinions, any other thoughts? Are you getting tired? Do you need to stand up and stretch? Are we happy? We're all ticking A now.
Any other opinion other than A? One opinion. What about other perspective? Maybe B or C or even D. What do you think? Yes, okay. Use that microphone.
Yeah, well, especially for us that are studying language teaching, writing essays only is not recommended. I think I will not recommend.
Okay, let's go to the second question.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the primary benefit of incorporating the work of teachers? Okay. What is the primary benefit of incorporating AI tools in teacher education assessment? It reduces the workload of teacher. It ensures higher levels of cognitive skill assessment. It eliminates the need for teacher involvement, or it replaces authentic assessments. I will say that sometimes it reduces the work of teachers. It's like taking the example of essays. Well, the teacher can ask to the AI to maybe make a summary of the essay, or things like that. Even for doing the test, the written test, the teacher can ask to the AI to do that, or maybe make a summary, make a guide study for the students, so that can reduce the workload outside the classroom for the teachers.
Okay, so we're all in agreement. Yeah, we've got 2 answers. Anyone else who thinks there might be another possibility there? I would say ideally you would also have to have B. Yeah, the idea would be that the AI tools would allow us to go for the higher order thinking skills. Yeah, we talked about the analysis, the application, the creativity. This is where an AI tool can really do a good job. It's not always possible, depending on, as my colleague said, upon the prompting and the proper prompting. Okay, so you can keep on thinking about that. Now, let us look at assignment tasks where AI can be used and those where we can't use AI. So the ones that include AI can be problem solving and decision making activities, also the generated content by AI that now the students must analyze or critique. I've talked to you about having the different tools next to each other and then deciding which one is the best, what is missing, what is not missing. And also the virtual simulations and the scenarios. Okay? So there's many activities also where AI will not be used for a closed book exam that is timed, or for the open-ended essays or the projects that really require you to think in an original manner. Okay? That's where the originality comes in. Yeah? AI will spit out things, but they might not be all right. Okay, should we? Yeah? Okay. So I've got some more activities for you that you will look at. What I want to do is look at the practical activity. So I think it would be nice if after this class you sit together in groups and you do this little activity so that you can really, they can do it here or they can do it later. Eh? Yeah. So let's look at this activity. So you're going to choose an AI-powered assessment tool. You can use, a specific assessment tool, or you can use the general ones. Yeah, the ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot, Claude, Bing, Gemini, etc., etc. You will then explore what are the features and the functionalities of the tool. Okay? Then you are going to design an assessment item. Could be a multiple choice question, could be a short question. Ideally, it would be a performance-based task. And to do so, to design that, you will use that AI tool. Okay? Remember to think of the learning objectives, or maybe you are talking about learning outcomes. Yeah? I don't know what language you use here, could be either. You are going to think of your target audience. Who are your learners? What is their level of knowledge and skill? How old are they? What type of assessment can you do with them or not? And also, you need to decide what is the level of complexity. You want it to be a difficult activity or an easy one. You want it to be an end-of-year summative assessment, it to be a formative type of assessment. Then you will create a rubric. Yeah, again, using your AI tool, okay? And you will, that rubric will be used then to evaluate what the learners submit. So there should be criteria like alignment with the learning objectives, clarity of the instruction, appropriateness of the assessment format. Okay? And then you will also include the feedback. So if your learners answer, they get a mark, this is fine, but you also want to give constructive feedback so that they can learn from the feedback and improve their performance next time they do a similar task. All right? Are we all happy there? I will let your lecturer explain when you need to submit and how they can think or you as an activity, so maybe you can just give a few instructions.
Okay, you can take a picture of this, or I can also share these materials to the class. But this is the thing that we will continue discussing in our instructional design and development class. The students already conducted a school observation in which they assess about the learners, the context, and then what the school needs. So I'd like that to be incorporated in this, because you're dealing with students who are in this kind of generation where they use this technology. So probably, depending on what you find in the school you observe, maybe you see that teachers still use traditional one. So you analyze what you observe and then see what kind of possibility you can use, especially with this practical activity that you can connect to our project. Okay, so you can take a picture again, or we will, especially this part, yeah, because that will connect to your own. Each of I think there are, how many groups do we have? 7. So they went to 7 different schools, from elementary up to high school, also vocational schools. So I believe we will have a diversity of contexts. So it will be nice to see how we create, we assess AI assessment tools and how we can implement that. Especially, in the assessment part, we talk about assessment in one of the chapter. So you can also connect to what we learn in there. Okay. Right. Thanks.
Great. So a good task for you. Start thinking, start putting together what we've looked at this morning, earlier and now. And then I think, okay, I just wanted to talk about, but I won't do this now, but assessment really is an important point in a learning environment to build confidence and also inspire lifelong language learning in this particular environment. Right. Some additional readings that I will share with you. Especially the last 2 are readings, they're blog posts, very useful blogs, and then the others are some videos, and then that's it. We have today looked a little bit at the AI environment. We started from looking at traditional assessment, we went to authentic assessment, and now we're seeing, we have started introducing how AI can help us bring that authentic assessment to the fore and really implement it properly. So there are exciting possibilities for enhancing assessment, but we need to keep ethics, fairness, and authenticity in mind when we design our assessment. So with that, I think we've come to the end, but of course, if there's any questions or comments, suggestions, that is it. And then maybe a little joke. If you can clap first, yeah, but the most important part is if you have any questions, you can go and look at your friend Google or your AI tools.
All right, so that's the end of our adjunct professor lecture here in this building, but we're going to also talk about the online meeting later on. So I will keep you guys informed about the schedule. We have a different time zone, so we're going to have to technically to do it like, we can do it because it's going to be online. If you do it at night, it will be morning or whatever. We have like 5 hours difference, so we'll find the exact time where we can meet, of course ahead of time. So again, thank you very much, Karen, for sharing about this assessment in artificial intelligence context. Very important aspect, and also I think this is a very timely discussion. So thanks again for being with us today, and for all the participants in this room, all the students attending. I hope you get a lot of things from our discussion today. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon, everyone. Oke, terima kasih semuanya. Kita boleh beristirahat dan kegiatan kita sudah selesai hari ini. Ya, jika ada yang ingin bertanya kepada Karen, boleh nanti digabung. I said that if you have questions for Karen, then you just let me know and just collect them. But he said, "Well, you asked to ChatGPT." Yeah, I think there might be some things that that they might have, so we can continue with that. Thank you.
I really hope we can establish a relationship so that you feel comfortable asking questions. You know, your prof has my contact details, so please get hold of me. Let's talk. Thank you.
We'll find a Zoom time when we can do it synchronously, so no worries. We just have to find to agree on the time later on. Thank you.
I think I will learn Spanish. I understand with you know, when I was starting in college, I never used AI. I just started to use AI, but never get into college. Even when I was teaching at school, I never. My students always use it, but I never. Because I think that's class.
They can have
Kayak,
okay, we can have
takut B itu salah. Kayak itu takut B itu kayak dia salah yang salah. Sesuatu yang salah. Paling itu cinta. Cinta paling ya. Sesuatu yang salah. Ketika aku ngajar.
Pak, liatin tulisannya Pak, instructional design.
I want. If necessary, I want. Oni. Can we call you Oni?
Lagi lah Pak, sekali lagi Pak. Kayaknya gak yakin tadi. Agak kurang yakin ya.
Kayaknya goyang ya.
Ibu yang goyang Bu.
Dia yang
Ibu yang goyang tadi. Terima kasih ya Pak.
Okay. It was fun meeting all of you. Yeah, it's true.
Bertiga Ibu.
Excellent.
Okay.